Alright, what's up, boys and girls? Here with 7 Years of Truths Part 2, as promised. This is going to be just as ridiculous, if not more than the last video we put out, or we went over, I should say. By the way, I found this picture. I was looking through an old shoebox, and I found these before and after pictures of DSP, and it's just weird, man. It's just fucking weird. And I also have to give a shout out and apology to any Denmark viewers out there. In the video I put out yesterday, I said Denmark was Dutch, and I got confused, and I was thinking about the Netherlands. So for any Denmark viewers out there, expect an apology email and tips in the mailbox soon, and we'll make things right there. I promise you that. So, well, I don't promise you, but you know what I mean. Roughly about $80 per apology email, and we should be good. And of course, I mean, you have to send me the apology email on the $80, and then we'll be good. So shout out to Denmark and all the Denmark viewers out there, and shout out to the Netherlands Dutch viewers as well. But let's go ahead and jump into this, not waste any more time. 7 Years of Truths, Part 2, a fucking go.
All right, let's continue here. I wanted to hit an 11-year-old girl. You're right. I just wanted to just, punch a girl right in the fucking face. I cop up to that one. No! What the fuck are you talking about? This all spawned from 2 years ago. I was playing this stupid VR chat thing, whatever the fuck it is. I don't even know what it is. What it's supposed to be. And there was a girl on there who obviously should not have been playing VR chat unsupervised. You could tell she was probably like 11 years old, probably accurate. That's about how old she sounded. Why the fuck her parents are letting her play VR chat, the world of disgusting people going in there saying swears and sexual things and all kinds of fucked up stuff, right? That's just crazy, right? But there was a girl who I walked into a room and literally just became an insane brat, insulting me and saying nasty shit to me. I didn't even say a word. And she was saying like nasty shit direct to me. I was like, damn, that girl needs a fucking smack or something. I don't even remember exactly what I said, but it was a reactionary thing, basically saying, she needs a smack, because if that was me in my day when I was growing up and I was a kid, if I acted like that, my parents would smack me right in the head. That's just how it was back then. Today, God forbid anyone ever touch a kid, but back then that's how it was. You get disciplined for acting like a shithead to people. So I made a comment, off-the-cuff comment about that. It wasn't to the kid, by the way. It was a private comment. It wasn't like I ran up to the kid's face and insulted the kid. It was just to my streaming audience. I said, damn, that girl deserves a smack for acting like that. And they twisted that into Phil wants to beat up an 11-year-old girl. What the fuck? Now, if I had actually said on stream I want to beat up an 11-year-old girl, do you think I'd be on Twitch today? Of course not. They would have banned me. But I didn't say that. It was an off-the-cuff comment. It's stupidity. It's absolute stupidity, that things that people say and twist this shit into. Okay?
That's probably my favorite moment of the entire 7 Years of Slander video. Direct quote, "Now, if I had actually said I want to beat up an 11-year-old girl, do you think I'd be on Twitch today? Of course not. They would have abandoned me, but I didn't say that," unquote. Well, isn't it motherfucking Shawn Michaels? Let's go back to the beginning. Direct quote, "Why the fuck her parents are letting her play VR chat in a world of disgusting people going in there saying swears, sexual things, and all kinds of fucked up stuff? That's just crazy, right?" Unquote. Yeah, you're right, Philly Dilly. I agree with you. Her parents should have protected her from adult males that want to beat up little girls. They threaten and bully these little girls to the point they have to stand up for themselves against evil trolls such as yourself. Prayer hands in chat for the little wolf girl, please. Then he goes on to say, direct quote, "There was a girl where I walked into a room and literally just became an insane brat, insulting me and just saying nasty shit to me. I didn't even say a word, and she was saying nasty shit direct to me," unquote. And then as you can see, he's clutching his chest the entire time, like he's a terrified victim. It's fucking hilarious. And the reason he's doing this is because he's trying to convince you that he didn't say what you just heard him say about that little girl. He then immediately follows this up with, "I don't even remember exactly what I said." How is this a fucking debunk stream? Number one, you're supposed to provide evidence for what you're debunking. Number two, you can't say, "I don't even remember exactly what I said." This dude couldn't take 2 fucking seconds to do the research to prepare for this shit. He just went on Twitter, saw what good Samaritans were saying about him, and wrote it down to debunk it by saying he couldn't remember what he said. I love it. I love it. Next fucking clip.
Okay. Let's get into more recent stuff, shall we? Let's get into all the crap that people are saying, recently about things such as, oh, hold on a second. Oh, forget that. Never mind. Never mind. That wasn't interesting. I thought it was something interesting to come in. It was nothing interesting at all. All right. Let's talk about recently. I mean, anyone who's been watching my stuff in the last 2 years knows that I'm financially not a very good situation. Every time that it looks like I'm getting ahead somehow, sadly, I get screwed. All right. First, it was the YouTube adpocalypse in early 2017 when YouTube ad revenue fell completely through because a bunch of advertisers left. So I changed myself up from being a full-time YouTuber to a full-time streamer. And I started to recover. Things were actually getting good. Then I get a message from the Washington State Department of Revenue that I was supposed to be paying state business taxes ever since I moved here in 2014, and I hadn't for 3 years. Oh, guess what? My accountant at the time screwed everything up and never did it right. So because of that, I owed thousands upon thousands of dollars of back state taxes that I never paid. It wasn't my fault. It was because the asshole who I was paying and trusted to do my taxes wasn't doing them right. So we get past that, and then the next thing is YouTube. Well, first of all, losing a partnership that I had with Curse on YouTube. Then losing monetization on my YouTube channel, DSP Gaming, which I didn't do anything. It was a Google Plus error. You know what I mean? It's like thing after thing after fucking thing. Every time that it looks like finally everything's in the clear, I can get ahead, something else would rear its ugly fucking head. But in particular, these last couple of years, there's been 2 things that have really been hurting me. One is those back state taxes that I owed thousands upon thousands of dollars out of nowhere. I didn't have the money for them. And the other is right now my federal taxes, which I couldn't pay this last year, and I'm going on a payment plan in order to try to make up for it, okay? Now, I don't have anyone to appeal to. I don't have an extensively huge family who's made of money who I can ask for stuff.
He's getting caught up in his own fucking lies there. Let's go back to the beginning of it. So fucking funny. He brings his phone up and then says, never mind, he doesn't want to talk about it. He then puts the phone down and starts talking about his financial problems. He doesn't need his phone or notes for this. He has this fucking grift memorized. He's gotten in front of a camera and begged for money so many times, he's not even embarrassed to do it anymore. What type of a sad individual do you have to be to not care about something like that? But then, towards the middle of it, I don't even understand what he's supposed to be debunking here. He's literally just crying about his financial problems. He thinks he has positive momentum after his epically viral tweets dunking on Pro Jared. And he thinks he has all these new eyes on him. And what does he proceed to do? Talk about his finances to a bunch of supposed new viewers. Let that sink in, man. You decide to check out this streamer that has a terrible reputation for the first time. And he tells you he's going to do a stream where he debunks all the lies and slander against him. He then proceeds to start telling you how his life is ruined financially and how he's probably going to need your money out of your wallet. So take your fucking wallets out, trolls. Oh, and by the way, if you don't give him the money he wants, he'll ban you. Sound good? He then goes on to say he doesn't have anyone to appeal to. He doesn't have an extensively huge family who's made of money who he can ask for stuff. But in a private Patreon Q&A video, he admitted that an uncle helped him pay for some of his back taxes. This isn't even up for debate. He 100% said this. This dude will get in front of a camera and lie to anybody about anything. He does not care. Next fucking clip.
So for me, I'm really just, I'm dependent on trying to figure shit out for myself. And I share this stuff with you guys. And I have to say, you guys have been so insanely supportive. Seriously, insanely supportive and just insanely cool about it. And helped me out so many times over the years with this shit that's happened. And I don't like sharing that kind of stuff with you because when you come to my streams, you're here to hang out and have fun. You're not here to hear this kind of shit, right? You don't want to hear about my financial woes and stuff. But being very honest with all of you, if it hadn't been for your support over and over, I wouldn't even be here anymore. I would have lost this house by now. I wouldn't even be able to do this for a job. I probably would have had to declare bankruptcy and go get like a part-time job or 2-3 part-time jobs, you know, and give all this up. So thank you for that. All right. But some of the biggest misconceptions about this is that when I ask for help, that I go and I blow money on stuff, and that's not the case at all. Everything that I've ever asked you guys for has gone exactly towards what I've said it was going to be.
This could have been from his November 3rd pre-stream the other day. Sounds exactly like what he was just saying. He talks about how much they've supported him. And now I can't shit on that, man. What they want to do with their money is their fucking business. And I would be a massive hypocrite because I accept tips and super chats, etc. Where this becomes a problem is when you feign distress and start to lie about it, man. If this dude could just not act like Chicken Little all the fucking time, things wouldn't be so bad for him. How many times does he fucking go crazy at night because there's like $8 on the board and he starts acting like his fucking life's about to end? He doesn't even have to tell people where all the money is going, but he just can't help himself. He has to lie about bills and how behind he is on everything, which then makes it easy for people to start picking shit apart and adding stuff up. I mean, think how much better his reputation would be if he just came out every other month and said, you guys supported me so much last month. We're going to do a one-time charity stream, or I'm going to give back to the community, or I'm just not accepting tips for one day. If it was legitimately just about the gameplay, but he can't even do that shit once a year, despite making over 100K annually. Then a direct quote. I probably would have had to declare bankruptcy and go get a part-time job, like 2 or 3 part-time jobs, unquote. This was in May of 2019. I'm pretty sure he's declared bankruptcy since this video. I mean, you see how easily he can sit there and just lie about shit? So we just heard what he said, and then he proceeds to say this, quote, but some of the biggest misconceptions about all of this is that when I ask for help, I go and blow money on stuff, and that's not the case at all. Everything that I've ever asked you guys for has gone exactly towards what I said it was going to be, unquote. We just fucking heard this bullshit again. 2.5 years later. And here we go again. Phil, I've asked this question a million times, and this is the one question you can never answer because the house of cards will all come tumbling down. But if all the money these brain dead fucks were giving you over the years always went straight to what you said it was going to, then how the hell did you fall so far behind on your bills? If you were constantly paying all your bills and not blowing the money like you just said here, how the hell did you end up declaring bankruptcy? You might have been broke as shit, but at least your bills were paid. And a lot of us here are broke. But if our bills are paid, we damn sure ain't declaring bankruptcy, man. You know, do you see how this will never make any sense? No matter how much you cry about harassment and trolls, personal attacks and blah, 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 you deserve this life, man. You deserve it for the lies that you tell, for the way that you double down on those lies, and then the way you react to and talk shit to people when they call you out on those lies. You deserve it, man. And I don't feel bad at all for you. You can go fuck yourself with that sympathy bullshit, asshole.
All right. So the first time around, we got to talk about this one, because this one goes years back too. Phil stole fan donations that went towards a Project 7 reboot. Phil stole fan donations that went towards a Project 7 reboot. Every statement in that is false. All right? Besides maybe my name. Stole? I didn't steal anything. What they're talking about is a Patreon goal level that was hit for 1 month in the summer of like 2015. Maybe it was 2016, but I'm almost positive it was as far back as 2015. Not stole. It was raised legitimately via a Patreon goal level. All right? Fan donations, they weren't fan donations. They were Patreon contributions. That's different. That went towards a Project 7 reboot. Wrong. It wasn't for a Project 7 reboot. It was for me to take some time out that month to do a Project 7 reboot trailer. A trailer that was probably going to be 30 seconds long. Okay? So for years I've been slandered, being told that you stole money from your viewers for a Project 7 reboot, and none of that statement is true at all. What really happened was, when I used to do Patreon more heavily, because I was more heavily into YouTube videos rather than streaming, I would have these goal levels set on Patreon. And so it would be like, if we raise $200 something this month, I'll do this. If we raise $500 this month, I'll do this. If we raise $850, I'll do this. And one of the goal levels that month was I would take time away from doing gameplay for a while, probably maybe, 2-3 nights a week, to work on this Project 7 reboot trailer. And, excuse me, sorry about that, indigestion.
Way to welcome in all these new viewers there. Really batting 1,000 there, you fucking idiot. Can't mute the mic, can't turn away, just let it all out, man. Don't give a fuck and let it out. But I'm not going to talk much about Project 7. We discussed this in part 1, but I at least wanted to include this section where he talks about it. He says the Patreon goal that was hit, by the way, was for a 30-second trailer for a Project 7 reboot. Now, I don't even care about Project 7. That was before my time. But imagine hyping up a $1,250 goal on Patreon for a 30-second fucking trailer to some shitty-ass show that you couldn't even finish. And wasn't it like a multi-month goal for Project 7? Like, I think $1,250 was his normal goal that he wanted every month. But in order to make sure he got it, he was promising things that he never delivered on. And I'm pretty sure he was stringing this shit out for months, too. And then, how subhuman do you have to be to believe/buy into what this guy is selling, man? He's proved time and time again what type of person he is, and the same stupid-ass people get in line over and over to take care of him. They have absolutely nothing else going on in their lives. So DSP is what they hold up to feel good about themselves. It's so fucking sad, man. It's pathetic.
All right. But in regards to the recent things that have happened with me raising tax funds, there were 2 specific times, all right, when I needed to raise tax funds. Once was in the fall/late 2017, because I needed to pay a state tax payment by the end of 2017, and then I had to pay a bunch of money in 2018 for state taxes, okay? I announced this dilemma of mine in November of 2017 on my Thanksgiving Day podcast. I did a Thanksgiving Day special podcast, and I announced this problem to my viewing audience on Thanksgiving Day 2017. You can go back and watch it. It's still live over on my vlogging channel, The King of Hate Vlogs, all right? Now, during 2017 was the year when early in the year I broke up with my ex, and I started talking to and then dating my now wife, Kat. Okay? Now, Kat didn't live around here, and she had to visit me a couple times. I had to take time away from streaming and stuff to spend time with her. I didn't disclose that was happening because I knew if I did, people would be trying to get up in our private shit. All right? But what people say to this day, Phil raised all that money for the taxes so he could secretly fly his new girlfriend across the country to spend time with him. Now let's look at the timeline. Well, the first time that Kat came to visit me was the summer of 2017. The second time she came to visit me was the fall, which I believe was October of 2017, because she actually helped me pick out my Halloween costume for the Halloween special that I did that year. I announced my financial dilemma about the state taxes in Thanksgiving of 2017. So obviously what Phil did is he announced it so he could raise funds, go back in time, and pay for the 2 visits beforehand. You fucking dumbasses. You talk out of your fucking asses about this stuff and make the most crazy, controversial, insane theories that make no fucking sense. It's such a weird conspiracy. Like, how the fuck do you think that money that I talked about and raised later in the year paid for the trips that happened earlier, you fucking buffoons?
Alright, now I'm not going to go too deep on this one because I talked about this in a video a few weeks ago. But what difference does it make when you begged for the tax money? You still had some fucking crisis come up where you needed a bunch of money after you had spent a ton of money flying your part-time whore around the country multiple times. and having multiple staycations. You know, there's no telling how much he wasted on that fucking skank. And speaking of this skank, I'm going to have a surprise at the end of this video for y'all, and we'll talk about it more when we get there, trust me. But back to the beginning, he says, quote, "There was 2 specific times where I had to raise tax funds," unquote. Oh, just 2, huh? You know, imagine even having to do a debunk stream about paying your fucking taxes. Imagine having to do that bullshit, man. Then, quote, "Early in the year was when I broke up with my ex." Early in the year was when I broke up with my ex. Huh. It's interesting. Then he says, quote, "Now, Ket didn't live around here," unquote. Well, how did you meet her then, motherfucker? He says he didn't disclose he was taking time off to be with her because people would, quote, "try to get up in their shit." I mean, he's right. But this is what he does, man. He uses any excuse he can to lie. Remember half-truths and nuggets of truth. And, you know, this is what he does, man. Most of the shit he accuses others of doing, he's usually guilty of himself. This is how he held up that sheet of paper the other day. He mixes in truths and just lies about the rest and then justifies it with, "Well, if I tell the truth, people will just use it to hurt me." Well, you're not supposed to be doing that shit, dumbass. And if you are, don't lie about it, dick face.
Now, of course, the latest controversy was I had this issue with my federal taxes, and I I told you guys I needed help, and I did a couple marathon streams to raise money with the federal taxes, and you guys, between you guys helping me and my parents helping me, I raised enough money to qualify for this this payment plan for the taxes that I didn't pay in the last year, and that's in process right now. Okay, that's all in process. It's happening right now. I'm actually supposed to get a notice from the IRS this month of actual physical letter, supposedly saying blah 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 whatever about it. I'm supposed to give that to my tax guy. He's already talking to the IRS, and he's going to get me on this tax plan. All right, so I qualified for it, thank God. But now, you know, then incidentally, when all that was going on, already I had been in the works and talks with my parents to go visit them because my parents are very elderly at this point. You know, I don't say very elderly. They're not very elderly. They're in their 60s, but each of them has different health problems. My dad has problems with his back and his heart, and my mom has numerous problems with, you know, going on over the years. And they're basically at the time of their lives when they don't know what's going to happen. At any day, they could take a turn for the worse, and it could be, that's it. So they want, knowing that I was living with Kat for a year and we were engaged and that, you know, we were in love with each other, they wanted us to go out there to meet them. You know, they wanted Kat to meet them and spend time with them, and us to have almost like a couple days to ourselves away from all the stress of work or whatever. Because the thing is, I talk to my parents every single week. Every weekend I call my parents and I talk to them and I tell them all about myself and what's going on with my life and everything. So they're always in the know about everything that's going on with me, 100%. They laugh at all the shit that people say and do about me slanderously because they know it's all bullshit.
They laugh at all the slander because they know it's all bullshit. Well, then they're fucking stupid too because you're fooling them as well. Just like your dumbass fans, you got everybody fooled. Or at least you think you do. And by the way, you notice we haven't heard anything of his sick and elderly parents since all this shit happened. Those Thanksgiving and Christmas podcasts of 2018, he made it sound like they were at death's door. And this was it. He needed to see them. And we have heard jack shit about them since his sham marriage. I can't understand how this guy lives with himself, man. But back to the beginning. Go back and watch the clip again. This dude can't sit still. He's picking at his face, scratching his neck, fucking with his greasy ass hair. Does this look like a trustworthy person, man? He looks like someone being cross-examined for murder and they found the body in his bed and he was covered in blood when it happened. Jesus. And then, quote, "I'm actually supposed to get a notice from the IRS this month, like a physical letter supposedly saying blah, 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 whatever about it," unquote. And then he says he's supposed to give that letter to his tax guy, and the tax guy is already talking to the IRS about it. I love it. I love it. All these extra details that don't make any sense. You know, that's when you know a motherfucker is lying, man. When he has to dress up the shit and try to confuse you. This is great. This is fucking great. And I honestly love that he can't be honest about anything, man. He knows he's so much of a scumbag. He has to use all these excuses and tricks for his brain-dead audience. But in reality, he lies because he knows the good Samaritans around the world are going to call him on his bullshit, and rightfully so. As I always say, you deserve this life, my friend. Next clip.
But they paid for everything. They paid for the trip out there. They paid for the room and board. You know, they paid for the car we had. They paid for all of the food and everything that we ate when we were out there. They gave us spending money for being out there. They helped pay for all the supplies. And then, of course, the big thing was we got married while we were out there, but it was a very small ceremony. It was held inside my parents' house. It was only a few close relatives and a dinner. There was no formal real ceremony. No money was really spent at all on the ceremony. And literally the only money I spent on the wedding at all was on a new belt, a pair of shoes, and a tie. The suit that I have is 10 years old, and that's the suit I wore, okay? Everything else my parents paid for because they wanted to meet Kat. They wanted us to get married. They wanted us to spend time with them. They wanted all these nice things to happen before, God forbid, something happened to them and we wouldn't be able to spend any kind of meaningful time with them, okay? So, all that being said, all right, I raised funds for these federal taxes before the trip out there, all right, and all of a sudden, it's Phil took all that money for the taxes and he spent it on his wedding, all right. I just want you to think how stupid this sounds. The week before I flew to Connecticut to get married and spend time with my parents, I raised money to pay for the wedding. On what fucking planet do you think that you pay for a wedding the day that it happens? I mean, it really just gets me. Like, huh? Like, weddings are paid for months in advance. They take tons of arrangement and planning. If you're gonna get a wedding hall or you're gonna pay for anything ahead, everything has to be done up front, early. You know, it's insane that these people.
You just admitted that you got married in your parents' house. Was the living room booked up that weekend? What the fuck are we talking about here? Your suit was 10 years old. Man, there's one of two things that happened here, and he's lying either way. He booked a place in advance and had family there, and it was a proper wedding, maybe even in a church with the ceremony afterwards. That cost a lot of money, by the way. Or he did exactly what he said here. He used the money from this dumbass scamathon fundraiser and booked some cheap-ass wedding in his parents' bathroom. And probably read his vows to his beautiful part-time wife as he was standing on the toilet. Free gin buffet afterwards, I'm sure. Now he says the only money he spent during the entire trip was on a belt, shoes, and a tie. This dude probably got married in his fucking slippers, man. Get the fuck up out of here. And I said this recently in another video, but who paid for your WWE Champions pulls while you were out there? Huh? And who paid for your a total of fucking a wine, idiot? I wish y'all could have seen me because I had my hand rolled up and when I was saying a total of fucking a wine. Mwah, chef kiss. And that's how you have to say it with me from now on. And then he says the only suit he had was 10 years old. Well, just fucking rent a suit then, man. Why does this guy have to be such a fucking boomer about everything? It makes me think back to Jim and Sargon. You suitless fuck. Those were great times, man. Waiter, more appetizers for the table, please. The chop chop. Come on, step on it. I don't got all day here. I got important weddings at my parents' house to attend. Come on, motherfuckers.
I'm sitting here with my girlfriend who's miserable as hell, and it sucked. And I was really agitated, all right? And when this happened, I was contacted by a few fans who were like, Phil, are you aware that people are playing State of Decay 2 a whole week early on Twitch? And, you know, you go to their streams and people are actually tossing them thousands of dollars on these streams for them, you know, because basically they're showing off these games early. And I'm like, it really rubbed me the wrong way. All right. And I put out a tweet that was really stupid, that was worded incorrectly, that if you just read it for what it said something that was not what I was meaning to say, all right? What I wanted to say was I 100% disagree with the practice of game publishers and developers putting out video games where they put them out early for special influencers. A person gets a person gets a game a whole week early and gets to play it on Twitch exclusively. Not only are they making money to do it because it's a special sponsored stream, but now their viewers are so happy because they get to see a game early, they throw them thousands of dollars extra. All right? It's bullshit. It's a very bad practice, especially because in particular there was a certain person playing State of Decay 2 early who was told by the company, you may not give your opinion on the game because there's a review embargo until the middle of the week. So in the middle of the week, then you can begin to give your opinions. You could play the game early, but you're not allowed to actually give any criticism of the game while you play it until the middle of the week. So it's a paid advertisement then. That's exactly what it is. You can't criticize the game. It's a paid advertisement. All right. Now, I personally hate this practice. Hate this practice. I think it's horrible. I think it's this whole influencer idea is ruining the gaming industry because you're getting people who, number one, are spoiling the game weeks early, who, number two, are telling you a game is good or at least showing a game and, like, I'm not allowed to say anything bad, so it makes it look good. So you'll go buy the game when in reality that game is not good. State of Decay 2 was one of the worst games of last year, my opinion. That's my opinion. It was. It was inferior to the first game. It was poorly made. It was full of bugs. It was just a piece of garbage. And it was a ripoff, but people probably ran out and bought it based on a few people who got that game early, all right, and played it on Twitch, made a ton of bank on it, for a bad game, and people ran out and bought it based on the hype that they generated, which is unfair. It's not legitimate gameplay. It's a paid advertisement. It's being a shill. It is being a shill for a company, okay?
Yeah, Phil, it's called advertisement. It's not begging. It's business, dumbass. So this dude apparently has a problem with people hyping shit up before others can get their hands on it and test it for themselves. He says he hates this practice. Would that be like hyping up new hats or vests for a fucking gameplay stream, but then telling people they can't have them or can't even fucking see what they look like unless they hit some stupid ass financial goal first? How about some dumbass cat behind some imaginary $1,000 paywall where you have no idea what the huge positive addition to the streams that you guys are gonna love even is? And then it ends up being a dumb fucking cat. I don't know, Phil. That sounds like a pretty shitty ass fucking thing to do. And like you're being a shill. What do you think, buddy? And by the way, how is that $2,000 cat worked out for your dumbass viewers? You got the 3-letter bitch asking how Jasper is all the time, and Phil doesn't even answer his question. Great fucking investment, dumbasses. Let's go back to the beginning. Typical Phil fucking Burnell. Jealous that others get something that he feels he's entitled to, and what does he do? Lashes out at everyone, and as soon as he gets called out on it, he runs away and hides like the little bitch that he is. And if that's not even what you meant to say, Phil, then why the fuck did you say it? Think before you speak, idiot. It's not hard. Next clip.
All right, everyone. To end this special, all right, I want to end with the hot topic. The topic that the tweet itself that went viral and all the big content creators are talking about. The tweet where basically, it's my incident. All right, it's my incident. Where in 2016, I accidentally showed something on stream I didn't mean to show. All right, and for the first time ever, I can disclose to you what really happened behind the scenes and why it happened and how dumb it was. I mean, I'm a complete bonehead for doing it. I've already fessed up to doing it a million times. The bottom line was, at that point in my relationship with my ex, things were not going well. Things were starting to fall apart at the seams. There was a lot of behind the scenes stress, and we were not getting along at all. It was to the point where, like, we were living together as roommates, but there was no love there anymore. It was kind of just like we're going through the motions to say that we're together, but we weren't really doing anything that was anything fun or interesting together, and we really, a lot of the things that we had loved to do weren't fun anymore. You know what I mean? What happened? Why is everyone doing words, words, words? What words did I use? Uh-oh, did I say something stupid? What did I say? Before I continue, let's see what people say here. What? What is going on? Oh, it's nothing I said. People put the chat into emotes only mode. Oh, I thought that I had said something bad. And people were saying, watch your words, use your words. I was like, oh shit, okay. I thought I had said something like horrible. Chat was in emotes only mode. Okay. Thank you, guys. That was close. I thought I had made a big mistake. I was like, oh, great. All right, let's try again. So, at that point in my relationship, it was like around mid-2016. Things were not going well, all right? So, I was depressed. I'll be honest, I've told you guys before publicly about my depression, that I suffered from depression. I was depressed, and it was a time when there was no intimacy to speak of whatsoever, and I was an idiot. I was a complete idiot, and I did something really stupid behind the scenes that I shouldn't have done. Why the hell, of all the time, not to say that there's anything wrong with someone doing that in their own private space, why the fuck was I doing it when a pre-stream was running, right? When I had a fucking things running here at the beginning of the stream. It's stupid as fuck, all right? It was one of the dumbest, it had to be the dumbest thing I've ever done. I mean, seriously, the dumbest thing I've ever fucking done. It had to have been.
All right, that is a great question. What do y'all think the dumbest thing he's ever done is? And how sad is your life when beating off live on stream to, quote, thousands of children is arguably the dumbest thing you've ever done? We might need a flash poll on this topic as well. Once I see some responses in the comments, I'll put up a poll with all the results and we'll see what wins. His sheet of paper with crayon bills may have something to say, but I guess we'll see. But back to the beginning, quote, for the first time ever, I can disclose to you what really happened, unquote. Again with this shit. Everybody knows what happened, you dumb fuck. What is there to disclose? And why would you say this stuff about Pandaree? Fucking why? Do you realize how this makes her look? No, of course you don't. Because just like with the fucking shill tweet, he doesn't care about anyone but himself. How it affects anyone else, who gives a fuck? It's all about this spoiled ass little baby. Can't make this shit up, man. He even gets distracted by his chat, which gives him extra time to maybe think that saying this isn't a good idea, and he just doesn't care. He gets scared that he may have said a bad word, and then proceeds to trash Leanna anyways. Now the next one is going to be the last clip for the video, and then we're going to have somewhat of a surprise after that, but let's go ahead and see what we got.
But no, Phil did not masturbate, in front of thousands of children, okay? This is not, this never happened. This is a ridiculous nonsense. Yeah, I just find it ludicrous that people still say that kind of stuff, okay? All right, at this point, that's about what I have, and I've been going on for about 90 minutes. Like I said, there are many other things that have been said about me over the years, and the truth is that, like I said, a lot of them back in the day when it used to be about gameplay or whatever would be based off of a snippet of truth here or there. But the things that I've just talked about are the major things that people always say, and they're all false. They're literally, every one of them is a lie. And if one of these is the reasons why you don't like Darkside Phil, you have been basing your negativity towards me on lies that were spun so people could get attention and clickbait for their videos and clickbait for their streams, and none of it was ever true or based on reality, and you fell for it, you know? And it sucks because it's one thing if it's just going to be a meme that's a joke. It's another thing if it slanders and hurts someone's reputation. But a lot of people don't realize this. I've been around since 2008. I've been making videos since before most major content creators today. And I've still lasted this long with all the nasty slander and shit that's been said about me, which is why, you know, when something happens like what just happened with you-know-who on Twitter and everything, to see me kind of get my comeuppance on someone was like, oh my god, this guy, like, he lasted that long and he comes back out of nowhere, right?
All right, let's go back to the beginning because I'm going to roast his fucking ass. But he says, quote, Phil did not masturbate in front of thousands of children, unquote. That line's never going to get old, man. Then he goes on to say, quote, "They're all false. Literally every one of them is a lie," unquote. Because I said so. That's what he should have said at the end there. Because that's all this essentially was. Him just saying no or didn't happen with absolutely no proof behind any of it. Then he's bragging about how long he's lasted. This dude has been kicked off of every major platform he's been on. His live streams regularly have less than 300 people, and half the time it's less than 200. He begs the same group of 10 subhumans for their life savings 6 days a week. He has terrible, and I mean terrible, mobile game, fast food, and alcohol addictions. He's in a completely loveless marriage with a wife who probably won't touch him. He should be as big as PewDiePie, as rich as Keemstar, or have a following as loyal as the AVGN. Instead, this dude has to kick someone while their life was being temporarily ruined. And because he got a few ass pats and some people said, "Wow, you're still around," that made him feel better about himself. And he thought that the internet and the public in general were all going to see him in a new light, and this was going to be some big career turnaround, and fucking look at him now. Bankrupt. He literally just claimed he was broke on November 3rd. He's accepting money from actual homeless people. He's already racking up a bunch of debt after he just got all his credit card debt wiped away. He doesn't own a tool and can't fix a damn thing around his condo to save his life. He got married to his soulmate in his parents' living room after lying about their failing health and that he needed to rush out there to see them. He recently said he needs to keep working to put food in his family's mouths. Meanwhile, it's him, a part-time whore, and a cat. And above all else, this dude has no family around him, no friends whatsoever, and the only people he can interact with on a daily basis are some of the worst dregs of society that you can even imagine. I've said it 1,000,000 times, and 1,000,000 more times will never be enough. You deserve this life, my very good friend, Philip Burnell. Amen. Now that was some 7 years of truth for his motherfucking ass. Let's get some shout outs and then we'll have a special present at the end of the video. 4 shout outs to do. Shane, no message with this tip, but thank you, my friend. I hope you enjoyed this video, bro. James, who I've seen in the comments, man, regularly lately. Big ups to James. Said he's moving into an operations role with his company, and he's very happy about that, and that my videos help him get through the stress of the day at work. So congrats, my friend. I hope you knock it out of the park and don't ever end up like Dave fucking Bennett, homeboy. Squeaky just said to keep up the grind. I've been talking with him in Discord, and he said he's going to try his hand at some videos and stuff, so good luck, homie, and I got advice for you. Just let me know when you need help. And then Trevor again, and Trevor's tipped me a few times, and it's never anything too crazy, but it's always just to say that he appreciates the content. So thank you, homie. Big fucking ups. Appreciate it, Trevor. Now, this is somewhat of a special present. This video is hard to find, but I get kind of tired of people asking me or saying that I'm too hard on Cat. You know, I'm not going to respond to anyone, anymore about this topic because I just keep repeating myself over and over. So I'm just going to start pointing people to this video. And if you see someone ask this question in the future, please point them to this video as well. Again, this video is hard to find, so I made sure I archived it and I always have it. This is Tevin's video about, well, you know what? I'm not even going to ruin the surprise. Let's just get into it. Next video is going to be, I'm not even really sure. We'll talk about it. Blah, blah, blah. As always, a fucking go.
Congratulations, you're Tevin evolved into Detective Dude.
No. I didn't do the detective work. Somebody else did. And they kind of just passed it on to me. And we don't have the Sons of Konami anymore. So I couldn't hope that they would eventually get to it. Feels bad, man. So I start off, what's up, buddy? A friend of mine told me to contact you about Cat. You response, hey, what's up? I respond, A lot of people have been wanting more info on her for months now, since he started to parade around having a new girlfriend. He even went as far as calling her his soulmate multiple times. But he rarely talks about it besides what meal she cooked her if she's at work. Could it be anything you're okay with sharing about it that other people should know? Basic summary is we were talking for about a month before I found out and broke up with her. Oh no, shit. They were talking for about a month. Yes, they claimed a relationship. At the same time, her and I were dating. Kicked out, and that was the last I knew about her. She was indeed committed to a relationship with the guy. Not sure what specific information someone would like to know. He has money, because I remember from him and her talking, he does financial things on the side. I have no idea what that could mean or what that could be, or if he just heard something wrong. And through YouTube and Twitch. So I'd infer money is not an issue. I do not have specific financial data, though. I have more finite detail in between, but that's just a synopsis. Sorry, I can't talk. I've been up all night. So I respond. In the stream she been on, she come off as distant, like she doesn't want to be there. Besides all the other crazy rumors going around, yeah, remember Escort? People thought she actually was just using them for a free room and to get closer to someone else. What type of person would you describe as? His response. She is a person that's very odd. She had a lot of issues with self-confidence. When she didn't want to be involved in something, she would always look pissy and act pissy. She had the jealous behavior, so rarely did she ever come out shopping or do anything. Knowing her for 4 years, she had a lot of psychological issues. She fed off my income, knowing I make a good amount of money, and she is doing it to Phil. Kind of obvious, in my opinion, that he doesn't have money issues. I mean, that could basically show what kind of person she is. Whoops. I said, how did you figure out that she was dating him? He said, I saw Phil message her on her phone in front of me, and I confronted her. Okay. Sorry all that happened. Thanks for sharing it with me. Not a problem. What he's doing is terrible. Mind if I share this on one of my streams? He said, sure, go for it. Send me a link to his Facebook. Yada, yada, yada. Bada, bada, bada. So I go to this kind person's Facebook, and look what I see. You know what kind of car this is? This is the kind of car that people think DSP and Cat have. That's because she owned his insurance. That picture was on his Facebook from let me see. I still got it up. Let me get rid of this. From November 2016. That's when he was taking his show-off pictures of the Subaru. And that was when he first got it. Had the license plate showing a little bit, so I cropped it out. And then line up the dates, August 16th, 2017. Now, if you remember, summer of 2017. Wasn't it summer 2017? When Dave started taking his extra vacations and shit, and Kat was coming to see him. So this poor man considered himself single when he saw that Kat was moving work behind him, pretty much. She was she was trying to move some work, I guess. Trying to get into Panay and move to the other side of the country. So that's fucking interesting. Not sure any woman can beat my immense love for tacos. He listed himself to being technically single at this time. And this is the same time that Dave and Kat got together. Remember, they met each other by accident, randomly, out of nowhere. Interesting. Very interesting indeed, Mr. Detective. And I got some short clips here from one of our buddy. First was talking about moving in with Kat. Now, this is from January 2018, so this is before she moved in, of course.
So, mid-2017, behind the scenes, things have fallen apart. I've broken up with my girlfriend of 5 years, my fiance of a few weeks, who then I broke up
fiance.
with.
Nice.
But to the face of everyone, right?
Fiance.
To what you guys are seeing, everything's going good. I'm trying to put on this happy face every day, all right, to the public. Even though behind the scenes I'm depressed, I'm drinking, I'm not doing well. All right, I wasn't.
Depressed,
my whole schedule was fucked up. I couldn't fall
other
asleep
people's
anymore.
Depressed.
I was up till 5, 6 in the morning some days, and then getting up at like 10, 11 to work. And I was drinking at night, which isn't good. I was basically in a real bad place. All right. So all this is going on.
You gotta think of the story. Give him a minute.
Then,
Randomly.
I meet someone.
Randomly.
And I'm not going to give you guys the details.
The details is I stole somebody else's
All
bitch.
right? I'm not. I'm just not going to give you any
DSP.
personal details.
Imagine that. This entire time, we always thought DSP was a lame. And he literally missed to steal your girl. Literally.
Obviously.
That's pretty fucking good.
Whatever about how any of this stuff came to fruition, because you know what's going to happen. The more information I
We
give,
always
the
thought
more
Panda Lee
fuel
was
for
a
the
homewrecker.
assholes, and the more that they'll
Or
try
maybe
to
Cat
hunt
was some
down
kind of homewrecker.
personal information.
No,
or-
Dave was the
I'm not going
homewrecker.
to give you any personal information. What I
Sounds
will
good.
tell you is this: over the summer of 2017, I met someone. Now, this person,
She's my
was someone
soulmate.
who I just started talking with on a daily basis. I was going through a really tough time. Incidentally, she also was going through a really
Of
tough
course.
time. We were both going through really
Really
bad
bad
things in
things.
our lives at the time.
She couldn't drive the Subaru.
And what ended up happening was
Nice thought.
we ended up kind of being there for each other at a time when I was incredibly vulnerable and lonely, and she was going through stuff, and I was able to help her, and she was able to help me.
All right.
And initially, that's really just what it began as.
So
And then-
I think that's pretty much our story here. I said this would be short. So that's why when when Kat moved in with Dave, she had nothing. That's why he, quote, had to buy her new clothes. Because the bitch never had anything to begin with besides a computer and a PS4. And she left the PS4. That's why she got the PS4 Pro. So that wasn't even her PS4. Everything was just for her Subaru, man. Oh. So take that for what you will.
What if Kat actually lied to Dave about the whole leasing thing? And what if Dave never knew she was still with some guy? Ooh.
Oh, that's real bad. Oh my. Oh. I hope that's not what happened. That's a fucking whoops. Oh, that'd be even worse. He stole somebody's bitch and ain't even know it. Goddamn. Nah, it's two ways I could see it. Dave could be big pimping, like blatantly out here stealing bitches. Or maybe Kat is big pimping because she getting put on everybody insurance. She was on Subaru man insurance, riding his shit around town, looking like a big baller. Now she on Dave insurance, riding his shit around town, looking like a big baller.
It wasn't fraudulent.
What? He told her to get her out of here.
Get him out of here!